Mayor Dukes is not here tonight. For those of you all that don't know, his son is an active duty Marine, embassy guard, and he happens to be in town for the next few days. So Matt's spending some quality time with his son on the orders of Matt's wife. So smart man. We call Vaughn Sullivan down for the invocation, and that's.
What was it? Was it Councilman Reed? Was it Roadrunners or what was it? Yes. Roadrunners. Got it. Okay. I'll ask you to bow with me, please. Father God, we thank you so much for this day, Father, and the moisture that you blessed us with throughout the day today. We give you glory and honor for the blessings, and Father, we thank you so much for the blessing of this city and this council who are willing to serve and to represent their wards and in all matters and all concerns. Father, bless them in their decisions tonight and give them wisdom and discernment. And Father, I ask you continue to be with their families while they're away. We thank you so much for men and women who are also serving in our armed forces, who serve to guard and protect our streets here in this city, and those who serve this city in a very public way to make sure we have essential services. Thank you so much for their service, Lord. Father, we ask a special blessing this evening on the mayor while he's away and spending some time with his son, Father. Bless their time together, and we hope he's back with us soon. Thank you so much for Jesus. We thank you for the blood that was shed that binds us all together and cleanses us of our sins. We ask these favors in his holy name. Amen.
Okay, we have two cadets here tonight. Andres Becerra is a senior from Midwest City High School, and he is going to enlist in the Air Force after graduation. And we have Gavin Tamonte, also a senior at Midwest City, and he says he's going to go to OU for 2 years and then go to Harvard, and his major is undecided this time. Lead us in the pledge, please.
Yes, sir. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And Vaughn, I know what the Roadrunner meant. I know where that was at because that was in my district in the police department. So I know what you meant when you said a Roadrunner.
I didn't have any clue what I was talking about, so that's right.
He's getting out of that one, huh?
Community announcements?
I have a couple. Vice Mayor Byrne, February 8th is our Daddy-Daughter Dance, which will be held at the Reed Center. Tickets still available, or is it sold out?
Still available.
Still available. And those tickets can be purchased at the community center. February 11th is the Midwest City Council elections for wards 2 and 4. And Midwest City's volunteer income tax assistance program called VITA begins next week, which on Tuesday, February 4th at the Nick Harris Community Center. Certified volunteer tax preparers will be available to complete tax returns from 1 p.m. to 7 p.m. Tuesdays and Thursdays throughout the tax season.
So, I talked to Dee yesterday about that because I sent somebody to him. You show up at about 9 o'clock in the morning to get a ticket to come back and be in line to get a spot to get your taxes done between 1 and 7. So you do need to show up early in the morning. He says sometimes they have people that show up at 6 a.m. to get in line.
So officially we start taking names at 10 a.m. through noon, but yeah, people line up in advance to get ahead of the long lines.
And I'm a professional tax preparer, and I can tell you that what VITA does. I've seen their work they do for that community, and it's certain income limits. They do a great job. At least ours here does a very, very good job, and I have sent clients to them in the past, so I unhesitatingly recommend it.
I have a follow-up comment with regard to the Daddy-Daughter Dance, and I've talked to the city manager about this one, but I hope that that invitation extends to all young ladies who would like to attend that dance, not just those with their fathers, but grandfathers, any type of escort. And I would request that we review the daddy-daughter dance and the mother-son luau, because to me, they seem like they can be exclusionary events if you don't have that parent in your household. And I think that we want to include all types of kids and their respective family structures to be at city events. So that's my ask.
I think that's a great idea. But
It is true that you guys don't check IDs at the door. If they show up with a grandfather, mom's boyfriend, whoever, an adult male, they're allowed in. We don't check their.
Vaughn,
Go ahead, Vaughn.
Yes, Mr. Byrne, that is correct. And we even advertise in our publications that they can, a variety of circumstances, adopted daughter, it can be your uncle, your grandparent, it can be your guardian, just that it be a male. But any relationship like that.
And I
Absolutely.
appreciate that, but again, when you're an 8-year-old girl and that's not your family dynamic, and you don't have that person in your family, they see it as exclusionary. So I'm just asking that city council consider that and that the city staff consider that with regard to renaming these events to where they, on their face, appear open to all children.
Mr. Sullivan, and I'm going to ask you not to respond to that, because that's a discussion item. We really don't need to be discussing it in the community events.
Wow.
So we need to understand where she's coming from, but this is an
We
item,
can look at in the near future.
correct, but not in this, this is not the
It's
forum
not
for
on
this.
the agenda to
well, I
discuss.
have to say this, I do think it's a good
We shouldn't.
perception saying daddy, daughter's dance. And it can go abroad, but I think that name really gives a young lady that somebody is maybe filling in for a dad, but I think that daddy, daughter's dance, and that name itself it should stand as it is. That's just my point of view, okay.
Okay, we're going to move off of that.
All
Any
right,
other?
thank you.
No.
I do have another, oh, you finished? Go ahead.
I'm quite done.
You're quite done, thank you. I just want to thank everyone for coming out to the Midwest City Dr. Martin Luther King Prayer Breakfast. I thank you for your support, and it was a great event. If you did not make it this year, you can, next year, it's every year, Dr. Martin Luther King Prayer Breakfast, and it is Midwest City Dr. Martin Luther King Prayer Breakfast. Thank you.
Anyone else? Okay. Move on to the consent agenda. These items are placed on the consent agenda so the council by unanimous consent can approve routine agenda items by one motion. If any item proposed does not meet with the approval of all council and members of the audience wish to discuss an item, it will be moved and heard in regular order. And I want to bring your attention to the fact that there is an addendum it'll be C11 that was sent out. So when we vote on this, we're voting on the 10 on the original agenda plus number 11 on the addendum.
Yes.
Motion?
Is there a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Okay. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Are you
Yeah.
move on to the discussion items.
Discussion item number 1, PC 2037, public hearing with discussion and consideration of approval of a resolution for a special use permit to allow the use of eating establishment, sit-down alcoholic beverages permitted in C3 Community Commercial District for the property described as the northeast quarter of Section 4, Township 11 North, Range 2 West, located at 307 South Air Depot Boulevard. Billy Harless.
Thank you, Mr. Lyon. The parcel address is 307 South Air Depot Boulevard. It's currently zoned C3, community commercial, and is location of the Open Flame Coffee Company and Roastery. The applicant is proposing to sell beer, wine, and specialty drinks within the restaurant, which is the reason for the special use permit application. If approved, the hours of operation will also change to the following schedule: Sunday, 7 a.m. to 10 p.m., Monday through Thursday, 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. Friday, 6 a.m. to midnight and let's see, 6 a.m. to midnight, and Saturday, 7 a.m. to midnight. Planning Commission recommends approval. There's just a couple of comments. There was one person there at the meeting that expressed his concern for the number of drinking facilities or drinking establishments along our depot, and also the dispensaries that were in the area. But he seemed to be, I'm not gonna say he was okay with the answers, but the applicant was a local, it was pointed out at the Planning Commission that the applicant was a local citizen and provides service to a number of the people in the area. So I'd be glad to answer any questions at this point.
This is a public hearing.
Does anyone in the audience have any questions or statements about this proposal?
Is the applicant here? Okay.
Do you agree with what Mr. Harless said? Do you wish to say anything else? Okay.
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Abstentions? Motion passes.
Discussion item number 2, PC 2038, public hearing with discussion, consider of a request to rename the street Dick Dick to Oryx. Community Development Director Billy Harless.
Yes, thanks again, Mr. Lyon. The Riverside Mobile Home Community recently came under new ownership. In November of 2019, the new owners approached staff and asked about the process for renaming a street within the community. Part of the area is platted with individual lots for each mobile home. The southern portion of this area, where Zebra and Dick Dick streets are located, is not platted. All the streets within Riverside Mobile Home Community are named after African animals. The applicant is requesting the change to name the street from Dick Dick to Oryx. As this area is not platted, the only only owner of property abutting the street is the owner of Riverside Mobile Home Community Park, Mobile Home Community. The fire department and GIS department have reviewed this request and found that the proposed name does not conflict with any other street names in Midwest City. So recommend approval.
So, because, what is the purpose of the name? Because one is platted and the other one is not?
I think it's just the name of Dick Dick is just not.
So, and what was that name again they trying to?
Oryx? Oryx? It's also an African animal.
We have the
Are there street
applicant
signs
here
up?
tonight.
Excuse me?
Are there street signs?
I don't know if there's street signs out there or not. Yeah.
Billy behind you is the applicant, if you want to.
Mhm.
Ma'am, if you'll state your name and address.
My name is Dwayna Newcomb, and I live at 6601 Sable, which is inside Riverside Community. I'm the manager. We are currently ordering street signs. Right now, the Dick Dick signs have disappeared, probably in somebody's room or something. But anyway, we are ordering new signs, waiting for this approval.
So, what does that particular name mean?
It's an African, all of the streets in our area are African antelope, except for one, which is zebra. Dick Dick is a type of antelope, but Oryx is also a type of antelope.
Is it a type of animal or just animal?
Antelope.
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 So what is this one? Is it also,
Yes, ma'am. Dick Dick is an antelope, and so is Oryx. It is really hard to live on that street and order pizza or have any kind of delivery service, or even at school, the kids make fun of kids who live on Dick Dick Street when they're reciting
Really?
their address. Because
kids make fun of it?
Because
But do they
it's
not
not-
know the
No.
meaning of the street? Okay.
No, but it was the new owner's request, and as a matter of, I mean, we're doing a lot of
Is-
improvements, and it was his request that we change the name.
Make a motion to approve.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries.
I don't care.
Now, how long, Billy, does this process take for her? Does she know how, the process that has to go in place now? Or will you guys for sure work with her to?
Of course, we'll pass this on to our GIS department, and then what he does is notifies, we have a list, whether it's the post office, the county, and then, of course, the census data, all these people is that we
I have a question.
notify.
Are we responsible for the sign? They're buying the signs to
They've already ordered the
order the
signs.
signs? Okay. Okay. All right.
Thank you.
If I order me a sign, I have mine.
All right, discussion item number 3, discussion and consideration of accepting an update regarding ongoing OG&E street lighting maintenance. Paul Streets is not here tonight. Vaughn Sullivan is available for any questions on the report.
The big question I have, Vaughn, is the cooperation.
Yes, sir, Mr. Brown.
Cooperation with OG&E, is that getting better?
I'm going to be very honest with you, sir. We were planning on Robert Streets representing this item, and I don't know if you know about his situation, but he has undergone some surgery and some complications with that. And he was planning to be here tonight and give you a very thorough briefing, and he is just not feeling up to it yet to be here. It is my information, and I'll defer to our Public Works engineer as well. It's my information, things are going very well. I did speak with our street light auditor just 2 or 3 weeks ago when I was preparing this, and he said the communication couldn't be any better. Other than that, you have anything you want to add to that, Patrick?
No, sir, I was just going to reiterate
Would you
that.
feel better if we just tabled this till next time when Paul was here, or do you think you guys have enough information to give us?
That's,
It's up to you.
yeah, it's your discretion.
up to
now.
OG&E also called this morning and regretted that they
May
could not
table
be
it.
here.
Okay.
Can we
But they
just
did,
table it?
I will
Yeah,
tell
we
you
can
that
table it.
what OG&E asked me to communicate to you after talking to them this morning was, at the next quarterly, they want to give you a very thorough update on their LED replacement progress, which they are making significant, I don't know if you've noticed or not, they are making significant progress around town replacing all of their street lighting with the new LED fixture. So, but they're going to give you some exact numbers and things at the next quarterly. They just didn't have enough time to, they didn't feel like they could give you a real thorough update on that, but they will in April when we bring this back to you. It's up to you, Councilman, whatever you'd like to do. We can table
It
it or
sounds like the
whatever.
council wants to table.
Yes, just
And-
table it.
Okay.
And that'll give Paul some time to meet with us and divulge what he's been dealing with, so. Unless you wanted to add anything else.
No, sir, I mean, I think that's a good course of action.
Okay.
Does that
That's
take a
fine.
vote, or can the acting mayor just?
Acting
A
mayor can
motion.
We can just bring
table
it back or whatever you want to
Or
do.
just table it?
Yeah.
Okay, that'll be fine.
I don't think, city attorney, do we need to vote? I don't think so. Okay. All right, let's go on to item number 4, discussion and consideration of a quarterly update on the progress of the execution of the general obligation bond projects. On.
The report is there before you, Mayor and Council. Be glad to entertain any questions.
We are currently out to bid on the animal services building, so
Yes, there will
should
be
be back in February 26th, is
there's
that
a
right?
mandatory pre-bid on February the 6th. And then bids open on the it's in here, 28th? 20th.
20th, okay. All right. Any questions from the council?
Have a motion to accept the report?
Motion to approve. Motion to accept.
Okay. Have a motion and a second. All in favor, say by aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion passes.
And we'll go on to item number 5, which is discussion consideration of accepting the monthly report on the City of Midwest City's Employees Health Benefits Plan by the city manager, and action is deemed necessary by the council to maintain the plan. I took this off of, generally it's on consent, and brought it forward, and I think I brought it to the council's attention on Friday with my bi-weekly update. We have Troy Bradley and Tiffany Lucas. Tiffany, wave your hand. Tiffany is our benefits coordinator. If the council does not know Tiffany, they should. She helps enroll you, but she also helps with the employees and with their claims and EOBs and any kind of issues they have with Blue Cross and Blue Shield. So if you need assistance, please give her a call and give her an opportunity to help you with any health benefits issues. On a bigger stage, we are suffering in our health benefits plan. We have some large claims. We have numerous employees or spouses or family members with cancer that have driven up the cost of the plan this year. We're going to keep a close eye on it. We still have an adequate fund balance, and we hope not to do a mid-year rate increase would be our goal, and try to wait until July, but there most definitely will need to be a rate increase in order to catch up our expenses with the revenues. So right now we're at just at $700,000 to the negative for this year. During the budget process, we will have, as normal, we will have Blue Cross and Blue Shield bring in the pricing, and we will have a committee hearing with the Health Benefits Committee, and then that'll come through the budget process with the council. I just wanted to put the council on notice that where we're at with the plan, because it's the most negative I've seen it in some time. That's all I have, unless there's any questions.
Do we have a motion to accept the report?
Motion to accept.
Second.
All in favor, say aye. Opposed? Abstentions? That passes.
Okay, discussion item number 6, discussion and consideration of accepting the financial audit of the City of Midwest City as of and for the year ended June 30, 2019. Christy Barron is here. And Mike Gibson from our audit firm, they'll come up and give us a report.
Well, we finished our audit. That audit report is included in your agenda packets, and our auditor, Mike Gibson's here to just briefly go over the results of that with you.
Thanks, Christy. Thank you, Mayor and City Council members. We appreciate the opportunity to be here. Thanks, Tim. So, we finished the audit in December and issued our report on the financial statements, and we issued an unmodified opinion, meaning that we believe that the financial statements as prepared by the city were fairly presented in accordance with generally accepted accounting principles and were free from material misstatement. The audit was performed in accordance with generally accepted auditing standards and government auditing standards, and as such, we also did evaluations and tests of the city's internal controls over financial reporting, and we did not report any our audit did not identify any deficiencies, significant deficiencies or material weaknesses in internal controls. We did not have any findings to report. We also tested for compliance with laws and regulations that if the city did not comply with those, it could have a material impact on the financial statements, and no such matters came to our attention. So all in all, the audit went really well, and we're be glad to answer any questions that anybody has.
Any questions from the council? Hearing none, is there a motion to approve the report?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, new business, public discussion. My finger wasn't as quick.
You do.
Okay. The purpose of the public discussion section of the agenda is for members of the public to speak to the city council on any subject not scheduled on a regular agenda. The council shall make no decision or take any action except to direct the city manager to take action or to schedule the matter for discussion at a later date. Pursuant to the Oklahoma Open Meetings Act, the council will not engage in any discussion on the matter until the matter has been placed on an agenda for discussion. Those addressing the council are requested to state their name and address prior to speaking to the council. Is there anyone in the audience that has anything for the council tonight? Okay. Okay. Okay, please state your name and address.
Gina Johnson, 9013 Northeast 19th Street, Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, 73141.
Okay, there you go.
Is that better? Okay. Gina Johnson, 9013 Northeast 19th Street, Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, 73141. We were told that our street was going to be on the agenda tonight.
What was your address? Did you say Northwest?
Northeast
Northeast.
19th Street. We were told that the problems on our street were going to be on the agenda tonight.
Who told you that?
The council lady came to our street and talked to Frida Cox today. That's why we're here.
Is it?
No, ma'am, are you referring to me? Because
I don't know, I wasn't there.
That is my ward, Northeast 19th Street. No, she mentioned about inquiring about information, some issues. I told her she could come up here to talk in reference to new business. We won't be able to do anything, answer you back, but we can listen. Did you want to convey something to the council?
Yeah, my daughter, she lives next door. She's on the same street. She will do it.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I can definitely, my name is Beverly Tedesco, 9011 Northeast 19th Street. We just want to address, we've had several issues with the upkeep of houses on our street. We've called code enforcement several times. There have been infractions to those houses, but the follow-up of, they were given 30 days or 2 weeks, depending on what the infraction was. However, the follow-up has not been done. Therefore, the situations have gotten much worse. We do a really great job of keeping our houses up to par and in code. However, the other houses have not. There's a large sewer problem on one of the street, or one of the houses on the street, which has caused a lot of smells, rodents, those kind of issues, and we were told that that would be followed up on, and it has not been. Also, the upkeep of the actual houses and their structure falling apart, the paint, the yard, not just one, but several houses on our block, and therefore it decreases the value and the appearance. And I mean, we pay like everyone else, and we want to be proud of where we live, just as everyone else does, and we would just expect that those things are followed up on in a timely manner as reported.
Ma'am, the council can't respond, but the gentleman getting up is the assistant city manager, and he supervises code enforcement, so he is going to visit with you.
Sure.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I appreciate the information. Thank you.
Okay, we move into the executive session part of the Midwest City Council. Okay, we're going to move into the executive session part of the Midwest City Council. A discussion and consideration of entering into executive session is allowed under 25 OS 307B4 to discuss pending claims or actions where public body, at the advice of its attorney, determines disclosure will seriously impair the ability of the public body to process the claims or conduct pending litigation or proceeding in public interest. And two, in open session, authorize the city manager to proceed as discussed in executive session. What we'd like to do is recess the council, recess, correct? Recess?
Yes, that's correct. We still need to vote on this item, and then you can. There's two more.
We have to do them separate, though.
Yeah.
So
So,
we need a motion to go into executive session, correct?
No, motion to recess, right?
Motion to
recess right now.
Okay.
Motion to recess.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Okay, we're going to go in recess for the council agenda.
I can read these, I usually read these, so let me do the second.
Yep.
Executive session number 2, discussion, consideration, entering to an executive session is allowed under 25 Oklahoma statute, section 307B3, to discuss the purchase or appraisal of real property in an open session, authorizing city manager to proceed as discussed in executive session.
We need a motion to adjourn or go into executive
You
session?
can just say we're gonna.
Okay, we're going to go, we're going to recess and go into executive session on that one at the same time, correct?
Yeah, we're gonna recess, we're gonna do all 3 of them in executive session, so we'll just recess for now, and we'll close from the,
Okay,
conference room.
Okay,
So we'll
next.
go to the municipal authority.
okay. Okay, we're going to move on to the municipal authority. We have a consent agenda. These items are placed on the consent agenda so that the trustees, by unanimous consent, can approve routine agenda items by one motion. If any item proposed does not meet with the approval of all trustees or members of the audience wish to discuss an item, it will be removed and heard in regular order.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Okay, we'll adjourn the Midwest City Authority, or,
We need to have new business.
okay, new business first, right. The purpose of the public discussion, this is for the Midwest City Municipal Authority agenda. The purpose of public discussion section of the agenda is for members of the public to speak to the authority on any subject not scheduled on the regular agenda. The authority shall make no decisions or take any action except to direct the city manager to take action or to schedule the matter for discussion at a later date. Pursuant to the Oklahoma Open Meetings Act, the authority will not engage in any discussion on the matter until that matter has been placed on the agenda for discussion. Those addressing the authority are requested to state their name and address prior to speaking to the authority. Is there anyone from the audience that wishes to address the Midwest City Municipal Authority? Okay. Nope.
You can recess.
Okay, we'll recess the Midwest City,
No, adjournment.
adjourn
Sorry,
the
that
Midwest
was
City
my
Municipal
bad.
Authority.
My bad.
Okay.
So there,
We'll move into the Midwest City Memorial Hospital Authority agenda. Am I correct on that one?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, the consent agenda. These items are placed on the consent agenda so the trustees, by unanimous consent, can approve routine agenda items by one motion. If any item proposed does not meet with the approval of all trustees or members of the audience wish to discuss an item, it will be removed and heard in regular order. Hearing is, okay, do I have a motion?
motion to approve.
Second.
Okay. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion passes. In the discussion items,
Discussion item number 1, discussion consideration of action to reallocate assets, change fund managers, or make changes in the statement of investment policy, guidelines, and objectives. We have, we don't need any action
Okay.
on this item.
okay. New business public discussion, this will be for the Midwest City Memorial Hospital Authority agenda. The purpose of the public discussion section of the agenda is for members of the public to speak to the authority on any subject not scheduled on the regular agenda. The authority shall make no decision or take any action except to direct the city manager to take action or to schedule the matter for discussion at a later date. Pursuant to the Oklahoma Open Meeting Act, the authority will not engage any discussion on the matter until the matter has been placed on the agenda for discussion. Those addressing the authority are requested to state their name and address prior to speaking to the authority. Does anyone have anything to say to the Midwest City Municipal Hospital Authority? No. Adjourn.
Now, we need to go ahead and do executive session, and then we'll recess. So executive session, number E1 is discussion, consideration, entering into an executive session is allowed under 25 Oklahoma Statute, Section 307C11, to confer on matters pertaining to economic development, including the transfer of property, financing, or the creation of a proposal to entice a business to remain or to locate within the city into an open session, authorizing the general manager, administrator to take action as appropriate based on the discussion executive session.
So we're gonna. Okay,
Move to recess.
motion to recess, or move to recess? Yep.
Motion to recess.
Motion to recess, so we have a
Second.
okay. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Okay, we'll recess that. Now we'll move into the Midwest City Economic Development Commission agenda. The consent agenda, these items are placed on the consent agenda so the commissioners, by unanimous consent, can approve routine agenda items by one motion. If any item proposed does not meet with the approval of all commissioners or members of the audience wish to discuss an item, it will be removed and heard in regular order.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Motion passes. New business public discussion. The purpose of the public discussion section of the agenda, and we're now on the Midwest City Economic Development Commission, for members of the public to speak to the commission on any subject not scheduled on the regular agenda. The commission shall make no decision or take any action except to direct the city manager to take action or to schedule the matter for discussion at a later date. Pursuant to the Oklahoma Open Meeting Act, the commission will not engage in any discussion on the matter until that matter has been placed on the agenda for discussion. Those addressing the commission are requested to state their names and address prior to speaking to the commission. Is there anyone in the audience that wishes to speak to the item on Midwest City Economic Development Commission? Okay. We move into the executive session.
Executive session D1, discussion, consideration, entering into an executive session is allowed under 25 Oklahoma statute, section 307C11, confer on matters pertaining to economic development, including the transfer of property, financing, or the creation of proposal entice a business to remain or to locate within the city, and two, in open session, authorizing the general manager administrator to take action as appropriate based on the discussion in executive session.
And we're going to adjourn on this and go upstairs.
Yeah, we will recess.
Motion again? Another motion? Okay.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to recess, go upstairs for the executive sessions, and we won't be back. We-
We need a vote to go into
Okay.
executive.
A motion to go into executive session.
Yeah.
Which executive?
Well, I thought we did them all.
Back into,
No. Are we starting with?
We need to start with council.
So we are re-entering the
Okay.
council, and now.
Okay.
So we're just returning,
No.
just state we're returning back to the council.
make a motion to go into executive session.
Is that going to be good enough?
Second.
Is that good enough?
So we didn't have to do this.
Pardon?
Okay.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Okay, and the next would be to,
Next one is,
That's it. We
Well,
just
we
need to go into,
okay, okay.
okay, what about the hospital authority and the EDA?
well, you have to get done with one executive session before you go to the next.
We need it. And next time we need to do all.
Ladies and gentlemen, we won't be coming back, and I appreciate y'all coming tonight.